Shakia.
Got the knowledge, y'all.
Hi you guys, my name is Youre Shakia and welcome to my channel. Today we are discussing 10 signs that you're an empath. Now, I did this video before, but I went on a little bit of a deleting happy spree on my videos, which I later regretted. But now I'm coming back to you with a list that I made of all the 10 signs that you're an empath. Now, first off, an empath is someone who can literally put their selves in another person's shoes. They can feel everyone's sorrow, pains, physical ailments, their state of their psyche they're in, all of those things. They can literally feel another person's emotion as if they were their own. Now, this leads me to sign number 1. You are super sensitive. Now, throughout your whole life, you may have been told, like, or your parents or your friends might have been like, why are you so sensitive? Or your friends might have been like, okay, you're so freaking sensitive, like, tighten up or, like, be more loose. But you can't help it. You've always been sensitive to, like, just everything. You may have been you may have been a person who easily cries, or a person who easily gets mad or agitated easily, and everyone's just like, what's wrong, just chill. But it's never just chill for you. Basically, it's more so like, look, I'm just like, I'm trying to go with the flow, but people don't understand that there's so many things stimulating your energy in your aura that you tend to take up everyone's agitations, their annoyances, even things that are unaware or unbeknownst to them that they're feeling themselves. You take it on, and people might lash out at you or say you're so sensitive when really you're just taking on what they may be feeling or everyone around you is feeling. So number 1 is you're just super sensitive. Number 2 is you know when people are being dishonest. Now, this is a big one. When I figured out that I was an empath and I learned how to differentiate my feelings from everyone else's, and when you become more aware of yourself and you learn about yourself and the egos of yourself and everyone else, you start to learn how to read others better. You start to understand, like, when you have conversations with people, there's like a millisecond in between every conversation where you can know if someone's telling the truth or not. When someone is being dishonest, it literally takes a split second that someone gives you like a change. It's like their energy. Highly sensitive people can feel energy, and when people lie, there's like this shift that happens. It's only a millisecond, but empaths can catch that in their own energy, in their aura, because a person's energy literally gets uncomfortable. It's not necessarily like, oh, you can just look at a person and decipher whether they're lying on their face or their body, but it's more so a knowing. You automatically know who's bullshitting you, who you can trust, who you cannot trust. You can know, even the people you do trust, you just know when they're telling a white lie or they're lying to you, because in that millisecond that they lie to you, you feel it. Like, no one else will catch up on it. It's such a subtle energy, but empaths are so sensitive and so highly sensitive that they catch this little millisecond that the lie changes. So no one can basically tell you shit anymore. When you're an empath, you just know. And it sucks for other people, but it's good for you. Number 3 is you pick up physical symptoms of others. Now, this has also happened to me in my journey. I remember giving a tarot reading to someone before, and I usually do this by tapping into others' energy. That means I literally like step inside their bubble. Now, doing this, I take on anything that they're feeling, their thoughts, their feelings, and even their physical ailments. One time I was doing a reading and I asked this person, does your tooth hurt? Because I stepped into his bubble, and all of a sudden my tooth was aching and in pain as if it's been like that for days. But I understood that it wasn't mine because it didn't happen until I stepped into this person's bubble consciously. But you definitely take on other people's ailments. Sometimes you may think that you confuse them with being your own. You might be fine 1 minute and walk into a party and you might have a migraine because you might have passed someone who's dealing with a hangover or a migraine and things of that nature. You can even take on the symptoms of being high when you're not high, around high friends. It's that strong. Empathy is that strong. So number 4 is you have an innate feeling to help. So empaths have this thing about them that, whether they realize it or not, that they want to help others, especially the underdog. Now, this is because you've experienced so many shades of emotions, whether it was you personally or not. You experienced so many different ranges of emotions, and just so happens you know the lowest of the low. So this makes you more susceptible to reach out to others and understand them, even when they aren't as understanding themselves. A lot of empaths get hurt actually by understanding too much of a person, and they don't necessarily understand themselves. So for example, you might have a friend whose actions don't align up with their emotions, and you're just like, well, your energy says much different. Your energy is saying you need a hug, but they might be like, well, fuck that, get away from me. So it's so confusing sometimes, the empaths, because you might be getting one signal and the next you're getting something different. And this can cause a lot of pain and despair, because you can really read the true intentions of others, the true desires of others, and they're not being honest to themselves. But that does allow you to reach out to people more, and sometimes it can get you hurt because you want to do too much for others, basically. Now, number 5 is people dump their problems on you. Now, this is something else I noticed when I started doing tarot readings. Even before I did tarot readings, people just came to me, and I'm not very social. I'm actually an introvert, so it would throw me off that people used to come up and talk to me first, and I'm just like, why? How? When did you get here? Like, what made you come and approach me? So that's another sign you can tell that you're an empath. People just it can be complete strangers, they just tell their whole life story to you. Even you have people around you who have this urge to talk to you all the time, but they don't really know how to reach out to you. It's just people around you just have this urge, they're just going to. Now, number 6 is you're drained easily, especially in crowds. Now, this is especially true if you're an empath and you go to the movies or the mall or anywhere with a lot of people. It's no coincidence that a lot of empaths are introverts, or they like to be alone, because you get drained easily, and no one especially because you take on, it's like empaths don't necessarily have a turn off switch to like, oh, I don't want to feel energy today, so I'm just gonna chill. I mean, it takes much more it takes a lot for empaths to ground themselves, and you have to make sure you're healthy and things, because you do take on energy 24/7, and that requires precaution of who you spend time with, what you eat, what you do, what kind of job you work. It all that comes into play whether you're a happy empath or not, and I'll make another video about that. So number 8 is you're drawn to healing jobs and metaphysical topics. So, it's no coincidence that I'm here telling you guys this right now. I am an empath, one of my many labels, I guess you could say. And one of the things I'm most into is metaphysical topics and spiritual videos. So, you'll catch yourself gearing towards the healing arts, or like crystal healing, chakra healing, things of that nature. Just things that are considered out of the norm, or holistic healing. So, that's another sign. Number 9 is you love nature and solitude. So I already touched on this before, but empaths find it basically impossible to stay away from nature for too long. You actually have a yearning sense to travel. You never, and you just really value your alone time. You don't really like to be in people's faces too much. You rather just be traveling and daydreaming and being, free. And then number 10 is you're prone to mood swings. So of course this is because you feel people's emotions and moods so much, and you mistake them as your own. You're just prone to mood swings, and some people might start to think that they have bipolar disorder, that that you have some kind of disorder or disease, you have some kind of like split personality. You have some kind of issue, because one minute you're fine, the next minute you're not, and depending on how many different people you're around, it can change that easily in a millisecond. So that's why it's important to invest in things such as sage, to visualize a white light clearing your channel often, to visualize protective shields around you and things of that nature. But Yeah. So you're just prone to mood swings. Especially, you can test this out if you're around in a family environment. You can, if you're aware, depending upon how aware you are of yourself, you can just watch how often your mood changes. And people might look at you like, what's wrong? But they don't understand that you're taking on what they're going through, what the next person is going through, what the next person is going through. And sometimes it doesn't even have to. You can be in an apartment by yourself and you can feel somebody next door, down the block, around the world. It's crazy. But yeah, those are the 10 signs that you are an empath. So I hope you guys enjoyed it.